have Zelle.
Yeah, and that's the one I don't have.
Okay, that's all right. Well, I can get go live. Okay,
So,
okay, good. So I'm gonna do like a short-ish kind of because you have so many. I have to make it like a little because we have like half an hour, and I'm gonna hit yeah. Hello, and welcome to our live stream. I'm Sue. This is Fireside Chat, and I'm so happy to welcome back Jeffrey Taylor from Never Lose Money, my favorite name of any company in the world. It's the best. He's a certified college specialist to give people really good and very logical thinking for how to fund college. So he's a professional speaker. He's been hired by state of Michigan, Better Business Bureau, Southview Schools. He's been on panels for the Detroit Free Press. He's very, very good at what he does. And I just really love the way that he talks because he makes it so reasonable to understand because it's just a really cool way of like rethinking how we manage our money. So thank you so much and welcome, Jeffrey.
well, thank you for welcoming me.
So happy you're here. So tonight we were going to talk about, let's see, so what was the name of our,
Learn how to position your student for 100% funding.
that's awesome. That's so awesome. So we're going to talk about that. If you want to sort of give a little kind of introduction into how that's possible.
Yes, yes. So the last time we spoke, we were talking about the pursuit for scholarships,
Yes.
and unfortunately, yeah, unfortunately, less than 1% of entering freshmen will receive 100% funding. What that means is that 99% of families will need to be prepared to pay out of pocket. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, the other side of that is pursuing private dollars outside of what we would call the financial aid system
Mm-hmm.
is a lottery process, right?
It's a lottery process.
Just to
Wow.
give perspective to that, maybe about 10 years ago, I went and purchased one of the most popular scholarship books, and I hired a team. And what we did was we took hundreds of those scholarships and categorized them. And so when a family would come in, we would match those scholarships to that student. It's a very, very exciting time because, this was the scholarship book, right?
Yeah.
And so the students, matter of fact, we had a system where the student had to take a picture online of submitting the application. That was their proof of what we call proof of submission. So the student couldn't just say, "Hey, we submitted it." No, they had to show proof
My goodness.
of submission. So that was the way of verifying with their parent that they had in fact submitted and completed that scholarship
Wow.
online. And so a few months into it, we weren't getting any responses. And a few more months went by, and after applying for hundreds of scholarships, none of our students received any money.
So that's how you know. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So when parents tell me, well, we're going to apply for scholarships, I just cringe because you have on the other side of that, families and students who won the Burger King scholarship or the Pizza Hut scholarship or the Dr. Pepper scholarship, the Coca-Cola scholarship or the government this scholarship. But those people are lottery winners. Those scholarships have limited dollars. They have limited slots. And when those slots are when that money has been funded, it's gone, and you have far too many students contrary to popular rumors, most scholarships are applied for and exhausted. So you've got, for example, you may have a scholarship fund. Maybe there's $1 million, and they're going to provide 50 students $20,000. Okay, well then there you go. So it leaves parents and students thinking that they're going to just get money from out the sky, but the reality is it's a lottery process. And to pursue private dollars, you have to understand that you're probably not going to get the money.
Wow. But that's not how it's marketed
Right. That's not how marketing, and that's not how parents
because they
talk
received
to
the
other
marketing,
parents.
right? Because that's
Right.
their big source
Yeah.
of information.
Yeah. Because
is,
I've had
what
other.
did you do?
Exactly. I've had parents literally, almost grab me in the collar and say, "Well, my kids got X amount of." I said, "Great, but how many more kids got that? They got that money in your same class, right?" Well, just me, my daughter and her friend. I said, interesting.
Yeah, because you know the way it really works, so it's not logical
It's
that
not
5 people in the class would
right.
get no.
Exactly. So, in light of this conversation, what happens is that parents just don't understand how the scholarship process works
No,
from the financial aid perspective.
no,
And so I want to get into at least some of that tonight
sure.
to give perspective and to help parents avoid making mistakes, because the biggest problem is that parents just don't understand how the financial aid process works
At all.
at all. And that's and financial aid is for everybody. Ooh, did I just say that? I wish I could show this form here, this FAFSA application for
Do you want to?
2023. Can I show that here?
We have a camera here that shoots straight down.
Can they see that?
So
Can we show that here?
yeah, I'm thinking we can show it. So
If we can, they can download it from their own computer.
okay,
But just to give perspective to this, I'm going to be talking with a group of parents tomorrow at Oakland University.
okay,
And one of the things I'm going to be talking about is page 8 and 9 of the FAFSA.
wow,
And the reason why I'm going to talk about page 8 and 9 is because it talks about financial strategies.
financial strat on page
Right.
8 and 9.
Page
of the
8
FAFSA.
and 9 of the FAFSA. Now,
Okay.
what's interesting to note is that when you go to a financial aid workshop, no one's talking about page 8 and 9. They are looking for scholarships. They're looking for some kind of quick fix.
Exactly.
But the reality of the matter is funding is awarded through a process. And when parents and students understand the process, you can position yourself, or at least position yourself better for 100% funding, and you can have the data in advance, which is very, very important. And that's what that report was all about.
Wow.
So what you saw there was, while you work on that, because I know we're running out of time here,
Yeah, sure.
and I'm sure there
This
was.
one here?
Yes. This was a report that I ran for a family. Okay. And what we see here is we see the first row, which are the schools that they had an interest in.
Okay.
Okay. The second row is showing the likelihood of the student being admitted based on the standards of those particular schools. Okay. Then we have the price of the school, and then we have the EFC, or the expected family contribution number. And then we have the need. Now, if we go from right to left and start with need,
Yeah.
you can see here, for example, that Yale University meets more need than, let's just say, Grand Valley State. So we have two different schools, two different price tags, and they both meet two different levels of need.
Wow.
Okay. Now, when do you need to have this information?
Before you need to decide, you need it before.
Exactly. You need it as an extension of your decision-making process. Because the FAFSA looks back 2 years, in my opinion, you should have this information at least 2 years in
Yeah.
advance.
Wow.
The other advantage of that is that it gives the
Mm-hmm.
family time
Mm-hmm.
to talk about the differences between how schools provide funding, and there's no rush.
True.
The student is not under pressure
Mm-hmm.
to make a decision. Because one of the problems that I see over and over and over and over and over again, because parents just have not been properly prepared. The student is under pressure. The parents
Yes.
are under pressure.
Oh, it's just so stressful. I
It
can't
is
imagine.
an unnecessarily stressful situation because they don't understand positioning. They're not taught positioning. They're taught fill out the FAFSA, apply for scholarships, prep for the SAT,
Mm.
get your essay together. But you want to be thinking about this information
Right. This is what's really important.
2 to 3 to 4 years prior. And I've heard parents challenge me by saying, but my student doesn't know where they want to go. That's it. That's fine. But you still want to have this data because it shows you where you are.
Wow.
Okay.
And most parents wouldn't know, first of all, what you need before starting, during, and then after you're left with the aftermath of whatever you've
Oh
chosen
my
to
goodness. Okay, so let's come back to that
do.
when we at
Absolutely.
the end.
Absolutely.
So one of the things here that I'm trying to do for the family is take the pressure off both the parent and the student,
Okay.
right? We want to give them a specific roadmap, a specific step-by-step process to make wise, informed decisions. So one of the reasons why this report is important is it also shows the gap in funding, or excuse me, let me go back. This data
Mm-hmm.
is based on the data that the schools submit to the government in terms of how much they charge based on specific family circumstances.
Okay.
Okay? So we use that data to share it with families that is based on their specific situation. For example, you may have a single parent who makes
Right.
$150,000 a year, they have saved for college, versus another family
Mm-hmm.
where there may be a two-parent household, they make $300,000 a year, they've saved for college. Now, when you fill out this report,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to show the numbers that are reflective of that parent's specific situation.
So the numbers are different?
It's going to be different. And that's one of the things I'm going to talk about tomorrow when I do this session at Oakland University is you bring parents to a room, right,
Yes.
to listen to someone speak an hour, 2 hours on financial aid. And everyone is not in the same situation.
No, it's true.
So we're not really dealing with the reality that the school is going to treat you based on your numbers
Right.
and your situation. Okay?
And the students are all completely different too.
Oh my God. When we look at the admissibility, that's what that's all about, the student.
But I've never seen this before.
See that?
I've never seen this before. This is very relevant information.
Mm-hmm. Very relevant. So, okay. So let's go back to that. We were talking about, I was going one place, but you just stirred up something else. So let's look at admissibility.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So one of the things that we love to talk about with parents and their student is when you have this type of report years in advance, you give the student a real life picture of what's going to be required if they want to compete, not just for scholarships, but if they want to compete for admission to a particular school.
Right.
This report gets into that. So if you have a student that really doesn't understand why it's important to be disciplined, why it's important to do the extra book report, the reason why it's important to participate in sports, extracurricular activities, Admissibility addresses those issues and then provides a roadmap for that student to understand this is what's going to be required. Because a lot of times, some of these schools are looking at the student in the 10th grade, in the ninth grade, in the 8th grade,
Wow.
depending on the school. So having this data gives the parents time to make informed decisions without being under pressure.
And for the child to aspire.
Yes. Yes. Now you have a timeline. Now you can set specific goals and you can make sure that the student understands that they are aligned. I say to my parents, listen, we want the student to aspire to be above the admissibility requirements.
Right. Because look at how difficult it might be.
Right. Exactly.
Right there.
Exactly.
It's unbelievable.
Exactly.
The other thing, too, is most parents might hope that their child goes in for their first year and they drop them off and they're in their dorm and then the first couple of party invitations come up. And it's very usual for students to enjoy their stay at their school, and that's fine, but why are you there? It's not for the parties. This sort of makes me feel, if I were a student and I was thinking in a couple of years I want to, do this, it makes me automatically conscious of a different way of being in college, which has nothing to do with popularity and parties.
Ooh, that's a very good point.
It orients me differently, even though I'm a couple of years out, so that when I get there and those first couple of, hey, do you want to go to, Sigma Phi's party, that there might be something counterbalancing that.
That's a good point. That brings to thought a family would come to see me. Both of their children went to the same school, and they both had different financial aid packages.
Interesting. That's really interesting. Same parents.
Same household.
Both students got into the
same
school.
2 different financial aid packages. Why?
Why?
Student commitment was not the same.
Wow.
So, my point behind making this point is what we have to tell our children is, look, we understand that you have a bond with this friend or this group of people, but keep in mind, they're your competition.
No one thinks like that.
Yeah, they are your competition. So just keep that in mind, that when your application goes through the process, you are competing against them for not only admission,
right,
but also for funding.
Because there's only so much.
Because there's only so much money.
So interesting,
isn't
it?
Are not thinking.
So interesting.
They think I just want to be with my buddy.
I know,
okay.
right? I want to go there because my boyfriend goes there.
Yeah, or my cousin, or we're legacy, and that's fine.
That's fine.
But you better understand what this is. This is a business decision.
Wow.
Okay, the school has no emotional tie to you. This is a business decision, and they have X amount of dollars, X amount of admission slots. And the question is whether or not if you meet the criteria that they're looking for.
Unbelievable. That's a really good perspective, isn't it? To go in with this attitude, with this, you're knowing how the system works instead of hoping that it's going to be all right for you, for your student, because they're not in business to accept everyone.
Exactly. So it's just important that our children understand that.
Wow,
it's
a great discussion, honestly. I always feel like it's so unknown. The way that you think is so incredibly not well enough known. And I'm glad that the parents tomorrow will have the benefit of listening to you tomorrow. So Oakland University, that's amazing.
So, okay. Let's take another look at this. Let's take another look at these columns. So when we compare these schools, this financial information is based on the finances of the parent. Okay.
Okay.
Now, and the student. However, when we go to page 8 and 9 of the FAFSA,
What's on
which
page 8 and 9 of the
yeah,
FAFSA?
yeah. See,
You
now
got me
we're getting
curious. You
we're
got
getting
me
ready.
curious. I was going to
Yeah.
ask you. I'm like, I'm not forgetting about page 8 and 9 of the FAFSA, and I'm really glad that people watching can actually. What is on page 8 and 9?
No one talks about page 8 and 9 of the FAFSA. I said, why are we not talking about page 8 and 9 of the FAFSA? I wish we had time to dig into this. I wish this was a 90
If you'd like to
minute,
come back another night,
you
I
know,
think that would be great.
we could dig into this. Now, what page 8 and 9 addresses are financial strategies. Okay.
Okay.
For example, I'm just going to read this real quick.
Absolutely.
Page 9, and it's getting into, it says notes for questions 38, 39, page 4, and 41I, page 5, 86 and 87, page 7. This says net worth means the current value as of today of investments, businesses, and or investment firms minus debts related to the same investments, businesses, or investment firms.
Okay.
When calculating net worth, use 0 for investments or properties with a negative value.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
Now, what did they just say?
So it's like a balance sheet. If you have assets minus liabilities and it's a negative, then consider that 0
Exactly.
for a business or an investment farm, did you say?
Farm or business or investments. Now, what's interesting to note here is that you better be talking to someone that has an understanding of what they're talking about. Because your answer on the FAFSA is going to determine eligibility to funding or your expected family contribution,
Okay.
which we're going to get to that in a moment here.
Right.
Matter of fact, we'll close on that.
Absolutely,
Okay.
we can.
But if you don't understand page 9 as we read through these definitions or these narratives lead to strategies. Those strategies lead to paying 0 for college, and none of those strategies have anything to do with academics or admissions.
Nobody knows this.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you have academics and admissions, and then you have financial strategy. And the financial strategy is the part that most parents skip over. What they're telling you here without telling you is how to pay 0.
Wow.
How
So
to pay
interesting.
0 despite having to pay.
That's incredible.
But who reads page 9 of the FAFSA?
Yeah, I don't. I honestly don't know anybody. But the other thing too is that you actually understand it. Jesse,
Exactly. This is what I'm trying to do.
because you are qualified to teach this
Yes,
to parents.
exactly.
But I'm very glad I met you because there's always going to be parents who are like, okay, it's 2 years out. And we can say to them, it's a good time to start having these conversations.
I love to have. This is a good point, and we'll roll this to the last point because we're running out of time,
Sure.
and I want to make sure we don't go over. So, why should anyone listen to anything that I have to say? Yeah, we could talk about 9:50 a.m. saying that I was Michigan's #1 college planner. That's a nice thing for them to say, right?
That's unbelievable, but I can see why.
But
though.
they interviewed me for over an hour. That's the reason why they said that, right?
Yeah,
That's cute, though.
that's.
That's,
I like
that's
the word
cute.
cute.
I wish my mom had been alive when that was announced,
Me
right?
too.
To hear that.
Me too. But I think she's looking down and thinking that's my boy right now.
Yeah, she was an awesome lady. Awesome lady.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Page 9 has the secrets. Okay? So
Right.
a parent of mine is, she goes to the first parent night session for entering college freshmen.
Okay.
They tell her up front, do not ask us any questions regarding college planning. We do not provide college planning advice.
Wow. But they're at a meeting where people are college
Right,
planning.
but they know parents are going to ask those. That's not what the school. Remember, this is a business decision.
Right.
This is a business process, and you are judged by what you do not know.
So true. And it has huge repercussions.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I call it the $300,000 mistake.
It's a good title for it because that's how much
right.
people spend.
When parents call me, unfortunately, many parents wait until they're feeling the pain of their personal lack of preparation. So let me roll this into a story. So why should parents listen to anything I have to say?
Mm-hmm.
Right. We could talk about my credentials. We could talk about the fact that I've been in financial services for 35 years.
That's incredible.
We can talk about that. But here's the thing. It is the interviews. I've done over 3,000 interviews over the course of my career.
Wow.
I've heard a lot of horror stories.
Yes.
So parents were saving in a 529 plan, okay? And let me know how am I doing on time.
I want to. I think we have another, say a minute.
Do I have?
So I'm putting information up here for if anyone would like to have more information.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey is happy to consult.
Yes.
You can talk on the phone if you'd like, or send him an email. And you're going to be talking at Oakland University tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Very well qualified.
I'll be there tomorrow at I think 11 to 11:30.
Okay.
So they fully funded a college 529 plan. The student also was a great hockey player.
Wow.
He gets a full ride hockey scholarship, right? The school notifies the family, say he's got a full ride. We're excited, and we look forward to having him as a student.
Mm-hmm.
Make a long story short, when the parents submitted the paperwork to validate the scholarship, they got a notification from the school saying, well, we're sorry. We didn't know that you had a funded 529 plan. The scholarship is still in effect, but what we're going to have to do is you're going to have to spend down that money first, and then the scholarship money kicks in.
Of course. Because
Right?
that's their money. Jeez. We'll have to come back because this is fascinating, Jeffrey. I'm so glad we had time
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is information that we can, anybody would like to contact Jeffrey, he'll be happy to talk with you. He's, you don't have to be incredibly experienced with financial matters.
No.
He talks to you like wherever your level is. I really feel that Jeffrey is very well qualified to give you, the answers you need. So I want to, and then I would like to thank everyone who's come to watch, and we'll have another show for sure. Thank you so much, Jeffrey, for your time. We need like an hour show. Thank you.